Thinking about diving into a Dungeons & Dragons game? But maybe you're curious about an experience that steps off the beaten path. Well, you've come to a place that does just that. I want to tell you about a style of D&D I've been developing. It's a bit different, a bit experimental, and built around a love for all sorts of game mechanics. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love traditional D&D. I play in a weekly game that's all about that deep tactical combat, exploring dungeons square by square, and it's fantastic for what it is. Traditional D&D is awesome. However, as someone who also designs video games and adores the mechanics of board games, I started wondering, what if we could take the D&D 5e system and use it as a launchpad for something a little different? And that's what this is all about. Welcome to my D&D playground. Here, we use D&D 5e as the foundation, but many of the core activities, especially things like combat and exploration, are transformed into custom-built digital minigames and rapid-fire interactive puzzles. So, what does gameplay actually feel like? Well, for starters, it's generally fast-paced. When it comes to combat, instead of a traditional battle grid, you might find yourself tackling a timed damage challenge using a simple web app on your phone or computer, or perhaps figuring out a strategic damage assignment puzzle as a team, where everyone decides who can best handle incoming threats. Often, everyone at the table is taking their actions simultaneously, and it's not just combat. I have a whole library of over 30 custom-made mini-games for all sorts of situations. Quick, condensed dungeon crawls, unique ability check systems, stealth challenges, treasure chest puzzles that might involve a bit of quick math or pushing your luck, fun little pub games like Digital Cups or Connect 4, and even symbolic ways to handle travel and crafting. The world itself, Iteran, is highly magical and a bit surreal, so expect the unexpected, and don't be afraid to get a little goofy. Now, about the visuals for these minigames. They're designed to be clear, functional, and get the job done. I use a lot of AI-generated art for characters and scenery, which I think looks pretty cool. But please don't come in expecting high-fidelity visuals from something like Foundry VTT. The real focus here is on the unique gameplay mechanics and the fast, interactive experience. So, how do we actually play? We gather in Discord for voice chat. I'll also post images and screen share on Discord. Your character sheet will live on D&D Beyond, and we use the Avray Discord bot to link your sheet to our Discord channel. That means you can roll dice straight from D&D Beyond, maybe on your computer, or even on your phone or tablet. And the results pop up right in our Discord chat. Most of the action, like my custom mini-games and key images, will be shared through screen sharing on Discord. I'm usually streaming my second monitor, which will show these browser-based games or images. It's broadcast at 720p and 30 frames per second. Good enough to see what you need to do. Because of this, I highly recommend you view the game on a laptop screen, a computer monitor, or even a TV screen. Trying to follow along with the shared screen on a small phone won't work. Let me be completely clear here. Most of the mini-games will be launched on my end and screen shared over Discord. The players will then verbally communicate their intentions, and I'll input their actions into the app on my end. Essentially, the players will be viewing these mini-games through screen sharing on Discord, and then they'll tell me how they want to proceed, with me, the GM, doing the inputs on my end. This effectively means I can make simple little HTML apps and launch them locally for all players to see without the need for any complex networking. The screen sharing of apps is the basis of all of this, and it's fundamentally how this style of play works. For the best viewing experience in Discord, you can use the pop-out feature for our voice call. This separates the video and screen share into its own window, which you can resize. Then, just show the chat panel on the side. It's a pretty straightforward setup that keeps everything you need in view. This kind of setup means we can jump right into the action. And hey, if you prefer, you can even use your own physical dice and just tell me the results, as long as you're keeping track of your character's resources. So, who is this experimental style for? Well, you might really enjoy this if you're intrigued by a truly fresh take on D&D, and if you love the kind of strategic thinking found in many modern board games like Pandemic, Spirit Island, or The Crew. It also helps if you enjoy quick thinking, adapting to new rules on the fly, and if you're looking for a faster-paced game with a lot of variety. And perhaps most importantly, this game thrives when players are proactive. I'm not always the best at pulling quieter players into the spotlight, so a willingness to jump in and engage is a huge plus. Now, for a really important heads up, this style isn't for everyone, and that is perfectly okay. My main goal is for everyone to have fun, and that means finding the right fit. This game is likely not for you if you deeply love and expect traditional D&D tactical grid combat. That's the biggest difference. It's also probably not a fit if you're looking for methodical, miniature-on-a-map dungeon exploration in a virtual tabletop, or if you're primarily seeking a game heavy on voice acting and long improv scenes, like you might see on shows like Critical Role. And if your character build is hyper-focused on very specific D&D combat rules, some of those might not translate directly to my custom minigame systems. What I'm offering here isn't meant to be better, it's just different. It's my personal experiment in blending D&D with my passion for creating varied game mechanics. It's a bit quirky, a bit homemade with its digital tools, but it's all about creating a unique and hopefully fun experience. So, if you've heard all this and thought, wow, that sounds uniquely weird and kind of exciting. If you're curious about seeing D&D transformed into a series of fast, interactive digital challenges, and you're up for exploring new mechanics in a world where anything can happen, then maybe this little corner of the D&D multiverse is worth checking out. It's certainly an adventure unlike any other. Thanks for taking the time to learn about my style. Hope to see some of you at the virtual table.